Good evening, everyone.
Hi,
Good evening.
But before I start the actual learning activity, give me 1 minute to walk you through the background of this topic. My topic is STAR Interview Response Technique for Success in Interview. So what is STAR Interview Response Technique? Give me a show of hands who is familiar with the STAR technique. So none. I'm going to share with you a quick overview of what is this technique so that you will be able to follow through during the actual skill activity. So the technique is actually a way of answering behavioral interview questions using the STAR model during job interviews. So STAR stands for situation, task, actions, and results. So what is behavioral interview? Behavioral interview questions are questions asked by the recruiter during the recruitment, and it focuses on how you, the interviewee, handle various work situations in the past. So your response as an interviewee to the question will reveal your skills, abilities, and the personality. So when you master the technique, you'll be able to achieve success in job interviews and then secure your dream job. Any question before I start the actual learning activity? Okay. So, good evening. Today I'm going to do a skill practice exercise with you all. So the objective of this learning activity is for you to be able to demonstrate the effective application of this STAR interview response technique. You have in front of you the handout which I've given to you earlier on. I'm going to walk through with you the documents you have before we start the actual skill practice. First, I'll start off with the instruction, which is on your first page. You'll be grouped in pairs with the person next to you. You will take turns to play the role of the interviewer and the interviewee. And you'll be assigned this question for the skill practice. And the question is, tell me about a time you showed initiative on the job. So that's the skill practice question. The interviewer will have a dual role to be also the observer for this exercise. Take about 2 minutes to prepare the response to this interview question before you start the actual skill practice on this question with your partners. The whole exercise will take about 6 minutes. If you're playing the interviewer-observer role, please take note that you're supposed to simulate asking the interviewer or the interviewee the assigned question. Use the observation checklist, which I'll share later, to record your feedback on the interviewee's response. And then provide the feedback to the interviewee. Focus on what has been done well and what are areas for improvement for the interviewee. If you're playing the interviewee's role, take about 2 minutes to respond to the question using the STAR technique. And most important, be open to the feedback that's going to be provided to you by your partner. Any question? So this is the STAR technique. So for this skill practice, this question that we're working on, please take note that you have to demonstrate the application of this technique, which is situation, task, action, and results. Situation is describe the situation that you were involved in that is relating to this question. What was your role in terms of the task you had to complete with regards to this question? And then describe what did you do and also what you took to complete the task. And share your results and what you have learned from the experience. Question? Okay. Observation checklist. If you're playing the role of the interviewer observer, you have to use this observation checklist to record your observation to what the interviewee said. So take note, you have to put your comments for each of the STAR steps and then to indicate whether yes, if the person has demonstrated that steps, and also most importantly, to be constructive in the feedback, share what the person has done well and what the person can improve on. Question? So here's an example of how you respond to an interview question scenario. So on the left side is an example of what is a poor style response. And on the right is an effective style response. So this is just to give you a guide to better prepare you when you are doing the actual skill practice later. So I've also attached this worksheet for you so that you can use this as a guide to draft your script before you do the actual skill practice with your partner. Take note, during the actual skill practice, you are not required to state, oh, the S is what, the T is what. You have to respond as though it is an actual real-life interview where you answer the question in a conversational way. But take note that this is to help you to structure your thought process so that you know that you have captured all the elements in the example or the story that you're going to share with the interviewer. Question? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is that if you have no question, you can start the skill practice with your partner. And feel free to ask me any point in time if you have questions. I'll let you all decide who wants to be the interviewer first or whether you'll be the interviewee. But before you all do the skill practice, each one of you spend about 2 minutes to prepare your script so that you know when you're doing the actual skill practice, you know what to say. Okay? So you have the question with you in the slide, and then you have the worksheet which you can start to draft your response, and then whenever you or your partner are ready, you can actually start the practice. Right now, any questions? Okay, so there are 3 of you. What I suggest is that, because for the interest of time, we will have 1 extra observer. So we only have so-called 1 round of exercise. Okay. So 6 minutes, 1 time. You have to take turns.
Okay.
So if you are the observer, you have to be interviewee later.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me about the time special position on the job.
Yeah, you need 2 minutes to prepare. Making sure that you use the STAR.
Okay.
And then when you are the observer, you have to use the observation checklist. Can you see your observation checklist? It's right at the back. Yeah, this is observation. So when you are the observer, when he is responding to the question that you're going to ask, this is the list for you to check on how is his progress.
So the interviewer plays the role of
the observer as well. But remember, the interviewer is also the observer. So when you ask the question and when the interviewer is responding to your question, use the checklist and then to capture your comments and the feedback, and then to discuss with the interviewee when the exercise is over between the 2 of you. Right now, you can use the example in the stack. So let me just share with you. So this is the example. So use your own example. This is how an effective response will be. Maybe I'll just share with you. This will be a good reference for you. So this is a sample response of what's effective response for this question.
Am I supposed to know this?
Yes. Yes. The most important is you know how is it responded, and then use your own example. Any questions?
No, everything is fine.
Right now it's working fast right now. Good job.
Yeah, she's going to answer. I'm going to.
She's eager to share her response.
Yeah.
Okay, so good job.
When we're ready, you can start, right?
Yes, whenever you're ready. Remember to take note of whether he demonstrated the application of the SPAL. Yes, follow the question. And then you're supposed to assess whether the person demonstrated the SPAL.
Oh, okay.
So take note again. This is a very good guide for you to follow. Right? So this is the same question, but you just have to use your own example.
Okay. Tell me about the time you showed initiative as a job. Right?
You go 4 minutes.
Give yourself another 2 minutes to wrap up.
Okay. No, that's very good. You did a very great job. Okay, I think I'm going to promote you to the next stage. So, how we wait to do?
You want to share what she's done well and also what are the areas that she can improve?
I think, yeah, she did very well. She understands.
Okay, you may want to wrap up in the next 1 minute. And I'm going to do a debrief on this activity.
Because of the situation, even he or she was in, yeah, she was in very, what kind of situation? A bit confused situation, right? I think your seniors help you out to for you. It's good you get the advice from the seniors, get it done. No. Yes. Let's say that there was some help. Yeah.
Right, you want to wrap it up?
Yes.
You done?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Great.
great. All right, let's do a debrief on this activity. So, any volunteers in terms of sharing your experience in terms of being an interviewer or interviewed? Rana, would you like to share?
It took me a while to actually come up with the answer. And then when I actually did the answer, I realized I was very quick in answer because if I give too much context, it will be too long after the answer.
So it's the time to structure it. How about this side?
I think in our case, okay, Rana came up with a scenario all by herself. The both of us saw that question on the screen. We thought that's a brilliant question. So Dennis shared what we did in the last CJs.
Yeah.
I think he demonstrated all the aspects. So that was brilliant.
That's good. So let me just wrap up the key takeaway. Right, the key takeaway from this exercise is that practice makes perfect. The more you practice, you master this technique and you do better, so that you have more confidence and you can better prepare yourself. I think the other thing that you have to take note is that you have to prepare more questions and also go through on your own how you want to respond before the job interview. And also another key point is keep it concise and if possible be quantitative, because interviewers will be looking for facts and looking for numbers to substantiate your example, and also be specific and be targeted. All right, any questions before we wrap up? Thank you for being such good audience. Thank you.
Thank you.